Hello, I'm Jan Roberts from Key Leadership Institute in Johannesburg, South Africa. And I've already started putting some of my LinkedIn newsletters into video form, and maybe that might appeal to you more because you get all kinds of emails, you're fed up reading all the time. So maybe listening to me, you might not have to want to watch me, I can't blame you, but maybe listening and watching these videos might help you a little bit more. So this particular newsletter was all about exploring leadership styles. And there is so many of those, but understanding your leadership style is crucial for several reasons. It provides you with a subtle but important insight into how you currently lead and aspire to lead. And that will be offering a sense of control over the extended influence of your leadership. Now, this awareness is actually fundamental to taking your ownership and responsibility of your leadership approach and take it to the next level. See, our leadership style is a combination of many things, such as our values, our strengths, our beliefs, and of course, our personal experiences. But leadership is also a dynamic and multifaceted concept that actually plays a crucial role in the success and growth of any organization. See, effective leadership involves the ability to inspire, guide, and influence individuals towards a common goal. Effective leadership requires self-awareness and a clear understanding of where you are at right now. See, this will enable you to identify areas for improvement as well as developing and stretching yourself in areas of strength to navigate the path towards your most impactful leadership. See, there's a lot of people who used to tell me and tell many other people, I'm also a behavior analysis consultant, oh, you need to work on your weaknesses. But it's not always about your weaknesses. In fact, working on your weaknesses might frustrate you to bits. So in my behavior analysis consultancy, I tell people about themselves, their communication styles, their leadership strengths, and areas for improvement instead of weaknesses. And I tell people, now, if you know the areas of your strength, if you know what you're good in, if you know how you communicate, build on that. Get out of that comfort zone and stretch yourself further and get even better at that. About your areas for improvement or those that you're not good at, if you really need them, and I know with entrepreneurs, people, those people are everything to everybody at the time, but by the time you can delegate, get a close inner circle and delegate those kind of things that you're not strong at, because you're going to frustrate yourself to bits trying to figure it all out. And maybe you'll never get anywhere and you spend a lot of time on it. But I hope it makes sense that if you can delegate those kind of areas and if you must know about them, and I've got stories about that as well, for people who climbed the ladder and had no people skills and all of a sudden they were dealing with more people and they needed to learn more people skills. It makes sense there, but it'll be a choice once you find out. See, over the years, actually, a variety of leadership styles have come out of the woodwork. And in my research, the number of those styles range from, I think I counted about 11 and beyond. But one of the key factors that contribute to successful leadership is understanding the various leadership styles and applying them wherever and wherever necessary for you. See, what I will do here is just provide a brief description of 6 different leadership styles to help leaders enhance their effectiveness and adapt to diverse situations. Now, that diversity will come out a lot more in my newsletter about DEI, but I could actually write you an article about each one of these leadership styles to recognize the different styles, the pros and the cons. But should you want to discover more about any of these styles, there's certainly plenty said and written about them in the books and online articles now. But it's just to give you a little bit of an overview. And I will also write a separate article about relational leadership, which is not mentioned below. And the reason for that is that despite all these different styles, the ability to bring solid long-term relationships is the major key in developing your influence and solidifying your leadership growth. I mean, John Maxwell, my friend and mentor, said, and it's a famous quote of his, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And people said, well, how do you get influence over people? No, not over people, that's a boss. Influence with people. You get influence with people by building better relationships. And they said, well, how do you do that then? Ask better questions. And how do you do that? You listen better. And asking better questions and listening better is all about coaching as well. So there's a whole story, and I will talk into that as well, but not in this one. So the 6 different styles. Autocratic leadership. This is often categorized by a single decision maker, involves a leader who retains full control and autonomy over decision-making processes. Now, in this style, the leader takes charge without seeking input from subordinates. While it can expedite decision-making in certain situations, I firmly believe that this may lead to decreased morale and creativity and lack of creativity amongst team members. I mean, this really talks more about dictatorial leadership or tyranny even. And I know we can look in different directions, but have we ever had a leader who actually is not willing to share? And let's not become one of them. Then you've got, on the other side of the line, a democratic leadership. Now, contrary to that autocratic leadership, democratic leaders encourage participation from all team members in decision making. Leaders using this style value input from their team, embracing a collaborative environment with an emphasis on collaboration. Although it can be a bit more time consuming, democratic leadership often leads to higher employee engagement, satisfaction, and innovation. And it shows people in your teams and further afield that they actually matter. And that is important, especially in today's life. Then we got transformational leadership. Well, transformational leaders inspire and motivate their team members to achieve greater success. They focus on promoting and sharing a vision and encouraging individual growth and development. Transformational leaders are often charismatic and have a profound impact on organizational culture, creating a sense of purpose and commitment amongst team members. Now, through my personal experience in a truly transformational program called Values-Based Leadership, I learned the amazing slogan, which is always worth remembering as we stand in the arena of leadership. And it's called Transformation Begins with Me. And, there we go into, when we look at transformational leadership, it is important that we always look in the mirror and that we be that change. We become that change we want to see in our organization. And if we're going to implement that as transformational leaders, it starts with the person looking in the mirror every day. Then we've got transformational leadership. Transformation, we just had that. Transactional leadership, close but no cigar. And that's based on a system of rewards and punishment. Leaders using this style establish clear expectations and set specific goals for their team members. Now, in return, team members receive rewards for meeting expectations or beyond, or face consequences for falling short. Now, this approach can be effective in achieving short-term goals and maintaining order with the team. However, it clearly has some negative connotations as well. I mean, what is the reason for people falling short of meeting their goals? And if you just purely look at the bottom line, there is going to be people that have done their best and fall short and get punished, and they lose morale. They might leave the company, even though they're very good at what they do. But there's a lot more to that, obviously. But again, it's another trait of leadership. And then one that is very interesting, laissez-faire. It's French, of course, laissez-faire leadership. And it's characterized by the hands-off approach where leaders provide minimal guidance and allow team members to make decisions independently. Now, I've always got questions about this, but while this style can empower individuals and promote creativity, it may also lead to a lack of direction and accountability if not managed effectively. And it's for me personally, it's not one I would personally recommend because of the things that can happen when, as I say, it's not managed properly. Then we have one that many people should know is servant leadership. Oh, servant leadership. It is so often misunderstood, but it actually revolves around the idea that leaders should prioritize serving their team members. See, they focus on meeting the needs of their team, empowering them to reach their full potential. And this style emphasizes empathy, humility, and commitment to the personal and professional growth of others. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, of course. But servant leadership should not ever be mistaken with merely serving others. And to understand this better, I can highly recommend a book I have read several times over the years, Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek, a wonderful book. And this is something that actually has existed in the African communities for many centuries. where leaders sit in a circle with a community, and they ask a question and they talk last. They let everybody speak. And that is actually serving the community and letting them know that they all matter, even regardless of what the end result is to be, what they're going to be implementing. But everybody has an input in there. Now, don't mistake that with the autonomous leadership, but this is serving. And when we are serving, that doesn't mean we need to give all the time. No, we need to serve effectively. We need to do the right things, and we need to support and guide our people. Now, the guy standing on the rock, the meme where they lift other people up, go to where they are and serve them, so you can lift them up to where you are and lift them beyond you. The 5 levels of leadership by John Maxwell really talks into that. But effective leadership involves some understanding of various leadership style, as no single approach fits all situations, and no single approach, no one size fits all. So, I mean, what is good for you is maybe not good for another leader, even in the same organization. But every situation is different, and those situations require a leader to bring a different part to the puzzle, and a different part of the puzzle to the table, actually. And I hope that makes sense. See, because successful leaders often adapt their style on the needs of their team, the nature of the task at hand, and the organizational context. So it could be different every time, but being aware of some of these different trends and traits will really help you to take. We quite often create programs for organizations because we go and listen to them first, especially because one size isn't fit all. And then, if we don't have a program that fits them, we create the program for all the different programs and international accredited stuff that we have available to us. We start creating exactly what the organization needs. And you need to do something similar for your people as well, depending on the nature of it all. Of course, as I mentioned at the start, there are many more styles, such as authentic leadership, situational leadership, visionary leadership, charismatic leadership, and more. Therefore, your main style might not have been mentioned in the short description above, but by being aware of the diverse range of leadership styles outside of your own one, especially, and embracing them or certain attributes of them when appropriate, leaders can certainly navigate challenges more effectively, inspire their teams, and contribute to the long-term success of their organization. Now, I hope that actually makes sense to you, and I hope to see you in the next YouTube video edition of my newsletter. Take care.